there, everybody. Welcome to NE. Welcome. Roger Blair, Catherine, Henry, Midwest Night Watch over there, Moon and Noon, Denise.
We're on.
Well, everybody, starting to tune in. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this edition is brought to you by, yes, Texas Beard Company. I wear it every day. If you got a man that smells good, why not add it to his collection? Surprise him. It's in stock. Yeah. Thank you, Texas Beard Company. Proud partner of Bigfoot Outlaw, in stock. Check out her store. Dropped in her comments. Under it's our YouTube description as well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So what's you up to, Val?
Working like a dog. You know, it's hot here in Detroit. And before we start, I just want to give us a big salute to the veterans, the first responders, and remind everybody to keep the homeless people in their prayers and just do kind things for people.
Right. Round of applause for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so absolutely.
We're doing things a little differently tonight. Our guest is my friend, Ed Rusk from Michigan. And he's on the phone right now, on the line. We've had difficulties with the connection. So we're going to try and work it this way. And everybody can hear his voice, I think. Ed, if you would step in and introduce yourself.
Okay, my name's Ed, from Michigan. Been an outdoorsman my whole life, hunting, fishing, hiking. Been in the woods more than most anybody that I've ever known. And I've seen a lot of things to share with other people. So hopefully we can do that tonight.
Okay. So you're out in the woods quite a bit. You're a hunter, a fisherman. So you're really an outdoorsman. Is this something that you just picked up, or is it something that you've been raised to do?
Yeah, I was raised to be an outdoorsman. My father, since I was able to walk, brought me with him. I was carrying a gun in the woods since I was 7 years old, hunting alone. And I was raised pretty wild. I think I was a 7-year-old that was dropped off in the woods at the break of daylight and get picked up at dark.
Mm-hmm. So what was your first interaction, your first encounter with a Sasquatch?
Well, I would say I've had quite a few encounters before I knew they existed. Didn't realize what they were.
Mm-hmm.
But first one that I seen was 2 years ago, driving down the road near Houghton Lake. And I was traveling with my son and my grandson. And I had told my son about these beings. I started watching these podcasts with all showing the different structures in the woods, the things that seem to be affiliated with these beings. And so he didn't believe in the subject or, passed it off as a joke. But as we were traveling that day, he pointed out to me in the woods as we were driving, he said, "Look, Dad," and I started seeing breaks, the star structures, teepees, and when he said, "Look, Dad," and I looked over there, he looked at me and said, "Sasquatch," and laughed. And then when I looked over there and I'd seen those, I thought those are really what I've seen people show that these beings think. And I started watching very close. And we came upon this one area and was just covered in structures.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself that these beings are really, that's a whole, there must be a whole clan of them in there to make that many structures. That I'm thinking to myself, they're literally surely there. And it was, so I started watching closely, and this Sasquatch purposely stepped out from behind a tree and showed himself to me. And when I seen this Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call him, I up to myself in my head, so what and who are you? You know, just thinking that in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And hypothetically, he started speaking telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
And what I tell everyone is that it's like having a 2-hour conversation in a matter of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing the abilities that these beings have.
That fast you felt. I'm sorry. That fast you felt that that was a very, very quick thought process rather than a verbal audio.
Yeah.
Conversation.
And it was like a type of download.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could put all this information in my head, and at the time, as I'm looking at this being, and I looked and we locked eyes,
mm-hmm.
him and I, and I think that has a lot to do with if you're going to be communicated with telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
I think that look them in. That's I believe when they have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And in that telepathic conversation, he had showed me he showed me telepathically like glimpses of where he was from.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see pictures in my head
Mm-hmm.
of mountainous terrain and different things. And he had mentioned that he was the youngest of his tribe. I can't remember exactly if he's tribe or clan.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the same time, I was trying to take in everything that I was seeing that's not supposed to exist.
Now, Ed, I want to thank you, first of all, for taking the time out of your day to share this with the audience. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, and I would ask the same thing if I was out on the street talking to just the general public when they reported something. Are you a drinker? What is your sobriety? You're not the type of person that I know that goes out and hits the bottle and stuff like that. I know you to be a 100% sober individual.
I'm not that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Most of your outdoorsmen are very level-headed people, and I've been that way all my life. So that has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Because those questions would come up with some people, when they hear this. This is not exactly the kind of things that they would receive well. This is, above them. A lot of people, they're not ready for that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's what I believe it is. They're not ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
But dozens of other people that have ran into these beings had the same experience or similar to it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them say that they've had mind speak, or forgot what the other term was, where they'll put something to think in your mind. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's different than telepathy.
Mm-hmm.
Similar, but different. A mind speak is something they make you think. Mind think. or that want to get across to you. But I think the telepathic part is conversations in the telepathy.
Mm-hmm. I just recently wrote a thread titled Bigfoot on the Brain. Have you ever heard that term before?
No, I haven't.
I came across that a couple of years ago, probably, I don't know, 2000, 2001, or probably later than that. And my experience with that term has been derogatory. And the same people that mock and ridicule Bigfoot enthusiasts use that term to imply that anybody that hears, sees, speaks about Bigfoot, Sasquatch are psychologically damaged, and I really take a great offense to that, and because of the fact that there's very few people involved in Bigfootery that are highly skilled and highly trained and capable of making clinical diagnoses of people, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And so I get what you're saying. You and I have spoken many, many times about this before, and I wouldn't use your words in describing infrasound, but I believe that's what you're talking about. But I do share the same feelings about this because remember, when I approach things, I approach it in a black and white sense. There's got to be a reason for this and an explanation for that. And when I had my experience in 2014, Washtenaw County, short distance from Ann Arbor, Michigan, it felt as though I was bombarded with a lot of different individuals, people, as though I walked into a group of people who were bombarding me with questions and probing and all this kind of stuff. It was very, very intrusive, the way I felt, the way I seen it. And it was best for me to remove myself from that situation. And at that point, we had to leave. I knew we had to leave. I wasn't wanted there. It's like walking into a group of strangers, and I'm the interloper. I'm the person that just intruded upon their party. So
there's a couple of questions we have too, Val.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rick wants to know, did it smell, make any noise, throw rocks? Also, Scott wants to know, what part of Michigan is he from? And also, what did the eyes look like?
Okay, very good questions. Okay, Ed, to relay those questions back to you, one of them was, did you smell any odor? Did they throw rocks? What color were their eyes? Did you see eyes? What color were they? And what was the other?
What part of Michigan is he from?
Oh, and if you want, Ed, people are asking, what part of Michigan are you from?
I'm from Monroe County. I've been a lot of different states and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But I was at when I seen this being 20 miles from Houghton Lake. And the being
So you're from Monroe, and Monroe, if I'm not mistaken, is the place of the 1965 August 1965 Monroe Monster caper. Is that correct? Hello, Ed?
You asking me, Go?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. So, in your particular experience, if I heard you right, was in Houghton Lake, which would be Roscommon County, around that area?
Yeah, around that area.
Mm-hmm.
I forget exactly which county it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because the Manistee covers several counties, as you well know. It's a large forest, and it covers, several counties and stuff. So, the last time that we spoke on this, you went hunting recently, and you had an experience. You had your friend, your passenger, had an experience. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we went out into the hood to open up the blinds. We had tower blinds, and I tried to get up there early, but traffic and everything, I didn't get up there till after dark.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out on the four-wheeler to our tower blinds to open them up to get ready for hunting in the morning. And we opened mine up, and then we went to his, and as he climbed the ladder and I was on the four-wheeler, this being, and I know it was one of those beings, it was only within 20 feet away from us in the thick brush. And it made this, started out to sound like a wolf, but it would have had to been a 500-pound wolf. And, I've frequented the woods my whole life, and not just weekend hunters, but I would spend weeks and months at a time in the woods. I know every animal. I know all the behaviors, everything about them. And this was nothing like I've came upon before.
Mm-hmm.
And it startled me to where I grabbed my 45 on my side and had it ready, because at any second, I thought that this thing was already on top of us, less than 20 feet away, and it's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to move away, and it would start to make a different sound. And then as it moved away further, it would start to make another different sound. But then over to my left, the owl would hoot, and then off behind another direction, a pack of coyotes were going off, all at the same time, one right after the other. So I see it, there was a group of these things, and for them to get that to me, the first time that I've ever experienced something like that in an aggressive way. I've had one underneath my tree stand that I believe was napping underneath my stand because it was a safe place that it didn't have to worry about any other hunter seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right below my tree stand in the thick stuff. And I was standing with my binoculars trying to look through the thick stuff to get a view on this being underneath the stand, and I could not. It could be, it would make this noise like it was almost snoring, but it would. It was, but if you could use your imagination, trying to see the depth of that sound under time, that's what it was like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't want to hear that at night, especially underneath my blind.
Right.
Very uncomfortable. So, when you guys move about, go to party stores and things like that, you have to drive. Have you ever encountered anything while you guys were driving?
Well, on that trip, we were going to go to the store after dark, after we were done hunting, and we were driving down probably a mile or so from his house down his road. And as I was looking off in the thick stuff in the swamp, just trying to see things from the view of the headlights shining into the woods going down the road. I wasn't watching in front of us. My buddy hollered out, "Look at that bear!" And I looked, and it had already crossed the road. All I'm saying, "Man, that thing was huge." And you know, he's the type of person that never gets excited about anything. And a couple of times that he would say, "Man, it's huge," and then he shut, say nothing else about it. I think what happened was, think that first that it was, and then as it sunk in, I think he really knew what it was that crossed the road. I told him about my encounter.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't be for sure on that one, but I know they're all around that area.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I've spoken about this before, that you know, motorists account for a lot of Bigfoot Sasquatch reports, not only during hunting season, but all over the state, all over the country, all over North America, and especially during hunting season when you know there's activity out there, there's weapons, there's gunshots, there's food, and the propensity to steal food, you know, already shot and cold.
Oh yeah, and I think they capitalize on so many people get a bad shot on a deer and it runs off, and I'm sure they capitalize on that by getting those deer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had them take many deer from me.
Mm-hmm.
To where, you know, bow hunting, you make a kill shot on a deer and you give it 20, 30 minutes to go get it, knowing, seeing exactly where that arrow went, perfect kill shot, and then you get there and the deer's gone and nothing but a pool of blood.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back to that hunting trip, after I encountered that being so close, the next day or two we were hunting.
Yeah, your phone's broken up a little bit, Ed.
And I thought, well, that's very unusual. Very rare do you find here, you know, or in the woods when a tree like that goes down. I know because I've been in the woods my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, well, it happens. Trees do fall in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 5 minutes later, another big tree fell.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing.
And you're talking about a night where there's no tornadoes, no
Right.
snowstorms, just random trees falling down.
Right. And so those were like 5 minutes apart.
Mm-hmm.
Then another 5 minutes, here comes the rock, because this being was up on a ridge, up higher than I was.
Mm-hmm.
And he threw this big rock, at least the size of a baseball, and I could hear it hit the treetop, and then hits the ground next to my tower blind.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently that being was upset that I think that I was hunting in that area, or gather it's just his way of letting me, trying to let me know that he was there.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounded a little aggressive to me. And then the following day, I was up in that tower blind, and I went in the morning hunt, hour or two before daylight, and I get up there and get settled in. Everything's really quiet, and on this very high ridge, quite a distance away from me, like this thing roars. It echoes the whole. It sounds like it echoed the whole county,
Mm-hmm.
and everything was still and cold, frost on the ground. I mean, that was literally amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he was showing that he was majestic.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the Bigfoot Sasquatch are, Ed?
I believe that they've descended or are something that the Nephilim created.
Okay.
And I say that because these aren't just flesh and blood creatures. Animals don't talk to you telepathically, and they can't emit orbs. I've seen those also.
Mm-hmm.
And a normal animal can't do any of these things. And if we were to sit down and talk about all of their abilities, we would be here for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned
the only way that they have those abilities is through some type of spiritual power.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned orbs, Ed. Can you share to the audience or with the audience what you believe orbs are?
I believe that the orbs are them being able to, what would you say, transform from a huge being into a light source to travel or to be among people, because I believe that these orbs can be there and you not see them, or they can allow you to see them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of one of their abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And once you see these beings, once you see one of these, or especially once you've communicated with one of these beings, I think I really don't know a way to get out from not seeing them anymore or them communicating with you anymore. I think once this happens, you're always open for them to communicate to you anytime they want. And I don't understand why that is, but I believe that. And I believe that because I was down in North Carolina and we were traveling in a motorhome. We were traveling down, I believe it was 129, through this windy mountain road. And there was a great big copperhead snake in the road dead. And so we pulled over to look at it. And as soon as I got out of the motorhome and stepped down, there's this beautiful feather right where I stepped. And when I picked it up, whoever it was communicating with me, they were letting me know that that was for me.
Mm-hmm.
So what's very interesting is that David Pilatus went on record, and I don't know how this happened, and somebody needs to explain this to me. He went on record with Melbourne Ketchum about DNA evidence and that it is descended from humans for 15,000 years ago.
You still there, Bill?
Yeah. David Pilates went on record saying that Sasquatch has human DNA
from 15,000 years ago.
From 15,000 years ago.
It's a branch. However,
it's a branch.
They cannot identify the father from the nuclear DNA.
Okay, Ed. Yeah, Ed, if you have that in mind, that the Sasquatch have human DNA, this, according to David Pilates
and Melbourne,
Dr. Melbourne. The question is, do you have an opinion? And David David and Dr. Melbourne are saying that the father of that DNA is
not
unknown.
human.
It's not human.
They can identify the mother as human.
They can identify
DNA, but not the father.
Exactly. So Ed, the mitochondrial DNA shows mother human, if I understand that correct, Chris.
Yes.
Mother human, and the father is not human.
That is correct.
Right.
So.
And that's exactly what they were doing in the biblical days, in the days of Noah, was that the angels were corrupting the seed of man and animal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the flood came in Noah's day at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because God wanted to destroy what the Nephilim were creating.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, how did David get involved with Ketchum?
That was my question.
In
the biblical text, it says that there were giants in those days and after.
Okay.
And that means that the giants and these beings, they survived the flood.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold that thought for a minute, Ed. The next question by Chris is, how did David Pallades get involved with Dr.
With
Melba?
Melbourne, yes, that was the question. So, because everybody says, and just like he says, is that Bigfoot is related to Nephilim because of the DNA results that are published on the website.
All that he knew through the missing people reports and the Bigfoot topic coming up. And when he investigated the Bigfoot topic is, I believe, when and how he ran catch him. Because to my understanding, he wanted to get that testing done, and she was a person that was willing to do it.
Now, you know, Melba used to lurk my group site, as well as a few other people that are notable, people that are well known in the Bigfoot community. But because of the trolls, might I say, the trolls, the people that want to ridicule and hit and run with insidious comments, a lot of these people refuse to come out and identify themselves. So with that in mind, and this goes to Chris and everybody else listening, and Ed, there's a few authors out there that have written earlier books implying that Sasquatch came from another planet, another planet, and that they were sent here because their planet, their home, was destroyed, and they were here as a servant, to whoever conquered their home planet, and they were sent here to work as labor. And some people imply that when we look at the pyramids and stuff, they suggest that Sasquatch was the muscle behind stuff like that, and that the Sasquatch was here to mine for precious metals that weren't available in another planet. That's what I get out of these books.
Right. But, would you like me to tell you on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I believe that the Sasquatch could have been involved in the pyramid stuff, but I believe that if it was for the weight thing, I don't believe that they're doing it with physical strength. I think that the strength that was used to build the pyramids wasn't a physical strength, but supernatural strength or abilities or ways that we're not aware of. Because I don't believe that the scientists to this day know how actually that the pyramids were made.
Yes, I agree. It seems to me I've seen videos and read some literature claiming that, or theorizing that the movement of those huge, massive slabs were done by sound resonance, vibrational sound resonance, and not by an individual or whatever. And that to me sounds more plausible than Bigfoot Sasquatch's involvement.
Right.
Just my thought.
Not only the pyramids, but there's a lot of other things that were
By
built
the way, you have a new notification.
our scientists have no idea of how it was done. But and the technology was something that our scientists know nothing about. And so the history that we were taught and have been taught for many years, it has been wrong. And I believe it was purposely taught to us wrong.
We had a previous guest on by the name of Kat Hansen, and the next time we have her on, I'm going to ask those questions.
Can I make a statement to you, Val,
Yeah,
and to our guests?
Sure.
So the Pyramid of Gaza, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know this. It's estimated to have 2.3 million stones. Okay. Did you know that each one was hand cut and fitted per stone?
That's a lot.
So what I'm saying is that each stone, they didn't cut 2.3 million stones, then put them in place. Each stone had to be cut, then placed, then measured, then cut in place. So it was not, did they just cut a bunch of stones and stacked them? So I just want everybody to realize that it's watching the show.
So I'm going to relay this to you, Ed, and the statement is, the point is, the Pyramid of Giza contains 2.3 million stones, and each one of them are cut. What exact, Chris?
Individually
cut to fit.
They didn't cut all at once. They weren't mixed and matched to fit. Each stone was hand fitted to stack.
Yeah, each stone was hand fitted to fit. Each stone was hand fitted.
So they didn't cut 50 stones and bring them in and stack them.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's mind-boggling. That's out of my bailiwick there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's incredible.
So 2.3 million stones.
2.3 million stones.
What
is the weight, Chris? What is the weight of 2.3 million stones, bro? That's a lot. That's a lot of weight.
The Great Pyramid at Giza is estimated to contain around 2.3 million large stones, weighing a total of 6 million tons.
6 million tons.
Feet of ancient.
So the AI says that, Ed, the AI says 2.3 million stones weigh 6 million tons.
Yes.
Incredible. That's incredible. That is incredible.
And I could imagine the weight of even one stone.
Yeah, that's.
And I've heard that you can't even put a piece of paper in between the cuts.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's what most of us have heard. They're so exact, so finely fitted, and so tight. You can't
with no mortar.
No mortar. No.
Yeah.
Just naturally fit. That's incredible.
So
that is.
And then the chambers on the inside of the pyramids. Look at the technology and knowledge and wisdom that took to work everything out perfectly inside a pyramid.
Right. Yeah.
And then to look what the pyramids used for. We can go into that deeper. And there's a lot of beliefs in what those pyramids actually do and what they were used for.
Now, Julie, one of the one of the listeners here, suggested that they were used for sound and vibration energy healing. Have you ever heard that before, Ed?
Yes. But I believe that it also had something to do with maybe teleportation. I think the sky is the limit in what they could do with and through those pyramids.
Now, have you ever, in all the chats that we've had, have I ever mentioned to you that as a data miner, as a Bigfoot data researcher, that I've come across dozens and dozens and dozens of reports with Bigfoot and UFO involved in them, all in one report?
I I really don't remember if you mentioned that or not.
Yeah. Well, I sent off 400 reports to my good friend Albert Rosales out of Miami, Florida. 400 reports. And one of the reasons why I've held this back is because I don't know enough about UFOs and Bigfoot, Sasquatch topics get enough and garner enough ridicule and mockery, let alone adding another dimension, into the mix and stuff. But when one of these things occur, when I see one of these reports like this, it's an anomaly. The second is a coincidence, and the third time it's time to sit up and take notice of this. And all of the things that we've talked about tonight opens up, more chatter about Sasquatch. Are they earthborn? Were they here from another place, another time? And what is their purpose here? What exactly is their purpose here? I have my own theories. What is yours?
Mine is, I believe 100% that their purpose has to do with mankind.
Mm-hmm. Good,
and
bad, or what?
People call them the Watchers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they're going to serve a purpose very soon. And these, what people refer to as last days, or, the last part of this this lifetime that we're in.
Mm-hmm. I might be thrown off of internet for saying this, but I'm going to say this. I told you I had my own theory. I believe that these individuals are here as a part of the 15-minute cities that somebody is trying to create, force us all to move into central cities, and the rest of the world around us is forbidden because there are things out there, or going to be things out there that you're not going to want to encounter, period. That's my thought. This is all.
That you're not going to want to what?
Encounter.
Oh, I see.
Like a castle, like the moat and castle theory. You have a castle, you dig a moat, and you put alligators in it. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
Yes. Make the outside world so dangerous, nobody wants to escape that 15-minute city. That's my thoughts. That's my theory.
That's a pretty wild thought, Val.
Yes.
My question is, what do you think that their part in these cities is?
Well, I'm not a subscriber to Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and Bigfoot, Sasquatches being malevolent beings. They have a purpose. They have a purpose, and they're going to serve a purpose. And
Right.
they answer to a higher being. That's what I think.
I believe that true, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's my thoughts. I'll own that.
But I think that higher being is the head of the fallen angels.
Well,
that's my thoughts on
yeah.
it. Meaning the devil.
Mm. You said that. I didn't. Now,
yeah, I said it. I'll stand by it.
Now, I'll just say this. I'll just go a step further in this and say this. People involved. I went out on the limb and I made the case, and I said people involved in Bigfootery, and that includes me, whether I'm an enthusiast and a so-called expert or what. I consider myself informed. but there are symbols and there's semaphores that people should become aware of. And one of them is the owl. And one of them is the owl, and the owl in a lot of different cultures represents evil, evil, evil. People say Sasquatches whistle and they sound like owls. Don't people when they mimic Sasquatch sounds, don't they tell you who like an owl? You know, if you talk about coincidences, think about the X, the cross in the woods. There's Indian elders that have long trained and long shared stories with the younger generations, imploring them to adhere to the idea that when you see an X, stay out of that area. It's not good for you. That's their territory. Stay out of it. There is a biblical scholar from South America who researches semaphores and symbols and stuff, and he makes the case that the X is very well known in paranormal circles, and it implies sexuality. Think about that. The X. The X is something that we see every day, no matter where we're from, all across North America, in Europe. The X is well known. That symbol is well known. Why is that? It means danger. And you'll see those a lot at railroad crossings. The scholar from South Africa says that the X has its origins back to Lucifer. That's what it's from, the sun god. Wow. So when we're talking about, when you hear me talk about coincidences, and there's no such thing as coincidences, I'm about showing people rather than telling people. So I share this stuff with people. Know what you're getting involved in. And this is the tales of you know, me spilling, you know, the stuff on the table here to show people that it's one thing to understand, it's one thing to know, it's another thing to imply that you believe in and you worship Sasquatch and Bigfoot. I don't worship Bigfoot. I don't believe in Bigfoot. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. That's what I believe in. And I'm here to say that you know, when you get involved in stuff like this, it's hard to step away from it. But understand what you're getting into. Understand where
Right.
you know, where the trail lies. That's the message I've got.
Right. Where are you going to be at the end of the road with you and these beings?
Well, I don't know. You know, if that's
Well,
if you say that metaphorically.
If you're traveling down researching these beings, I mean, I don't go out searching them,
Mm-hmm.
but I come across them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't search them because I don't believe that they're of God.
Mm-hmm.
Because God does everything in the open
Mm-hmm.
and in the light, and they seem to do everything in hiding.
Another coincidence, my friend. These are all pieces to the puzzle that you put together, and then you get enough of these pieces put in place, and you'll see the picture. The picture is manifest. You'll see it all together. So you're absolutely right, and you're astute for bringing that up, Ed. I do believe, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. So we got 7 minutes left of the show, and you know, you brought me into, Ed. You brought me into a conversation where I never believed I was going to get into, but it was interesting, and for the opportunity to share that with other people and stuff. Like I said, I might get tossed off of internet for this, but that's okay. This was my message, and this is where I was supposed to go.
Yeah, I had myself muted. I'm talking. So Virgil Kane says, do you believe in Jinn? So Jinn, I found out they actually call that Bigfoot in other countries. I did not know that. Did you?
Okay. No, I didn't know that. But
Yes.
But the comment by a listener asked about Jinn. Gin. I believe it's spelled Gin.
Yeah, Ginn. Jinn.
And a lot of the soldiers coming back from the Middle East, they came back with stories of that. But Chris, what was your point to the Jinn?
They called Bigfoot in other countries Jinn, and
Yeah.
I thought it was just like an evil spirit, and it's not the case. It's a catch-all, and they use that for Bigfoot over there. I did not know that. So
as Ed says, a lot of people that are familiar with the word Jinn, like I think it's got the origins back to the genie and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, they imply a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and that stuff. They imply it. It's like a catch-all phrase for that stuff. Is that a coincidence, or what do you think, Ed?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think there's a lot of people that refer their experiences with Sasquatch as Jinn.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of your old timers, even in the South, would refer to them as Jinn.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty interesting. So,
but when you were talking about the X's, Val, did you ever think that when you look up every day, those X's are sprayed in the sky every day?
It's funny you say that. I think I posted a picture outside my kitchen window one day of a chemtrail X.
Right.
Yeah.
You see them every day.
Yes.
And when I always would relate the X's in the sky with the X's that the Bigfoot make.
Well, we're gonna get.
And I remind you of telling you that after I had seen one of these beings, they had, when I came back to my tree stand hunting, they had put an X at the bottom of my tree stand.
Very good. All right, listen, Ed, it's been very, very good having you on. It's been our pleasure.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I'm proud to call you my friend. And
Thank you.
I'm happy that you came on, shared your thoughts with the audience.
Well, I'll just finish one question with Chris. He was asking the color of the eyes.
Yes.
The being that I had seen, and the eyes were pure black.
Wow.
I didn't get to answer that one, so I figured I would
tell him thank you, Val.
Yes, Chris wants to extend his thank you to you, and he's marveled at that, that response. So we'll talk to you, Edward. We'll talk again, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much, Bill.
All right.
All
bye
right.
now. Bye
All
now.
right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. Don't forget our show at 8:00 tonight. The Pulse. I have no idea what she's got up her sleeve, ladies and gentlemen. Val, it's been wonderful. Thank you, kind sir.
Thank you, my friend.
And for Coast to Coast, we'll see you less than an hour. Take care,
Bye,
ladies and gentlemen.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
coming to a YouTube channel near you.